Hi, hello. We're doing a little bit of an unorthodox video today because I did not realize that the Sephora VIB sale was on. And so I had initially planned to put up my October hits and misses, which is requiring like a little bit more editing than I thought it would because my mom was here yesterday and I got to spend some time with her. But I didn't have anything prepared for the VIB sale because quite frankly, I had forgotten that it existed because I've been very disconnected from the world of makeup. And so it was with a bit of shock that I opened my YouTube feed today morning to see a bunch of different videos on VIB sale recommendations, VIB sale hauls, advice on what to do and not to do for the sale and all of that kind of stuff. And so I just wanted to create this video. Apologies for the city noises. I'm filming this outside because lighting. With my own little sort of PSA for the Sephora VIB sale. I'm not wearing any makeup. It is Saturday early in the afternoon. I'm literally about to walk to Chinatown and then go grocery shopping, and I'm in sweatpants and whatnot. Outfit of the day, makeup of the day, on point. So I'm coming to you a little bit undone, so to speak, but I figure it's the message that matters, not necessarily the aesthetics of the video. The main thing that I wanted to say about the Sephora VIB sale is if you're subscribed to my channel, odds are you are a person who has identified some sort of problem around shopping for makeup, right? Either you're on a no buy or a low buy, or you've just made the choice to be a more conscious consumer, etc. So I'm going to make the assumption that since you're a person subscribed to my channel, you're a person who does not want to go crazy, go stupid at the Sephora VIB sale. And so the advice that I would have to give you for that is as follows. If you're a person on a low buy, probably the only sort of justified purchase that you could make would be a replacement staple product for you that is running out. You're going to be out of it within the next month or sooner. So taking advantage of a thing like the Sephora sale for that kind of a purchase, something that you know you're going to run out of probably within the month of November itself, that's great. That's smart. Can't fault you for that. However, I want to take a moment to address people who are on strict no buys, or who maybe have made the decision that they don't need to buy any makeup right now. They're not going to pick up anything from the Sephora VIB sale this time around. So for y'all, the advice I would maybe give y'all, the little pep talk that I have been giving to myself a lot, because really I can only ever talk about what works for myself and hope it has some utility for y'all, is twofold. So the first, and I think quite possibly one of the most effective things, is to figure out what it is that you can occupy your time with that isn't makeup. Right now, there is a lot of content on YouTube, on Instagram, on Reddit, on every single possible platform concerning the VIB sale and possible VIB sale recommendations. I would highly, highly suggest you just not watch any of that. I get that everybody has YouTubers that they really like, that they really want to support, that they're oh, let me watch this video to give them a little bit of ad revenue or whatever. Even if you're a person who necessarily doesn't want to buy anything from the sale, I would suggest you just not do that. Don't do it. If you're a person who has low-key identified that you have a problem with shopping, maybe you have a minor shopping addiction, or you buy things more than you want to, or that kind of a stuff, at a time like this, at the Sephora VIB sale time, choosing to watch a bunch of people's sale hauls or sale recommendations or best ofs or all of that kind of stuff, that's the equivalent of a recovering alcoholic just circling the bar. It's the equivalent of a recovering alcoholic choosing to watch a bunch of reviews of whiskey and wine on YouTube. It's self-destructive behavior that kind of sets you up for failure. And I don't know about y'all, but I would literally never recommend that a recovering alcoholic do that. Why would you set yourself up for failure like that? Don't do that to yourself. It's just torturous. It increases temptation. And one of the biggest marketing tactics anybody can do is to make you aware of a thing, right? The first step in making you want a thing is to make you aware that the thing exists, and then to generate a need for that thing. If you're not aware of a bunch of the new releases, a bunch of the cool new stuff people are buying at Sephora and all of that kind of stuff, you're just not going to want it as much. And that's a straight up fact, right? It's a tactic everybody learns in day one of marketing class. Ignorance is bliss. Not knowing what other people are buying, what other people are getting, not knowing what the newest releases are not knowing what's on offer at Ulta and Sephora that's sparkly and there for you to buy, it's the best way to insulate yourself from wanting any of that stuff. So that's like emergency advice number 1. Don't engage in beauty consumerist related behavior during the sale. Don't do that to yourself. I'm not doing that to myself. I am skipping every possible VIB sale, VIB recommendation, Ulta favorites, things you should buy, hauls, any of that type of content produced by people who I would otherwise watch their channels and support all of their videos. I'm skipping all of that this week because I'm not in the habit of self-flagellation. Not gonna torture myself like that. Instead, I'm gonna spend my time doing my schoolwork, figuring out how to cook a couple recipes that I didn't know how to cook before. Like when I come home from the supermarket today, not only am I gonna figure out how to make that tofu that I can put on my salad for the upcoming week, but I'm also going to learn how to and attempt to make those like Korean sweet potatoes, the ones that are like caramelized and so delicious and often served as side dishes at Korean restaurants. Is so good, and I'm gonna figure out how to make it. I'm gonna spend my time and energy on a Saturday, like editing my video, doing my grocery shopping, learning how to cook. This evening, I'm going to try and read a couple more pages of Mrs. Dalloway because that is a book that's like stream of consciousness, very, very involved. Like I need to spend all of my time and energy focusing on that. I can't be like thinking about what palette or makeup that I want. I'm literally just not engaging in any of the YouTube content that could possibly tempt me to buy stuff. If I do want to watch something and relax, I'm going to watch other things. Whether that means that on YouTube I watch other channels. Like a thing that I've been doing a lot recently is I just discovered that the entire back catalog, like all 8 seasons of Psych, as well as all of the seasons of Mr. Robot so far, they're all on Amazon Prime. And so I would rather, while I'm like cooking and I want to like watch something to occupy the time, I would rather watch like episodes of a show that I know I really like Psych or Mr. Robot, or even like on Netflix, they have a whole bunch of different cooking shows. Like I much prefer watching those in my spare time that I would previously have occupied during this week by watching like the people I'm subscribed to and beauty content. So strategy 1 of my emergency PSA is just like stay away from as much VIB sale, beauty content, beauty consumerism content, anything that could tempt you to buy stuff during this week if you know that you're kind of particularly vulnerable. Second of all, if you are hell-bent on somehow occupying time in the world of makeup and beauty while the VIB sale is going on, look inward to your own collection. So maybe if you do want to spend time on this weekend or in the upcoming week, like immersed in the world of makeup and beauty, dedicate maybe like an hour or something to explore some aspect of your own collection that you're not ultra familiar with, right? Maybe you have some eyeshadow palettes or some blushes or some lipsticks that have intimidated you or that you haven't used for a really long time. Make it a mission to kind of sit around and play with all of that stuff. Alternately, spend some time reorganizing your entire makeup collection. And when I say organizing, I mean like do it like Marie Kondo style, not in terms of like decluttering. I'm not suggesting you declutter Marie Kondo style, but Marie Kondo, when she has people tidy, she has them take everything out. So for example, like she has people remove all of their books from their bookshelves and lay them out on the floor and then go through them one by one. Like I would suggest you do that level of a reorganization of your makeup drawer. Like take everything out of all of the drawers, go through it all, clean it, reorganize it, figure out what in your current configuration is working, figure out what isn't. If you want, do a minor declutter. Like if you notice that you own something that's like gone off or expired or that you really hate or whatever, and you aren't encouraged to play with it and you know you just don't want it, set it aside, put it in a box, declutter it, that kind of stuff. Basically, look inward, look at what you already have, spend some time with it, play with it, appreciate it, distract yourself with the makeup that you already own is what I'm trying to say. My hope is that the two strategies hand in hand. Firstly, avoiding watching and immersing yourself in any and all beauty content linked to the sale, linked to buying makeup, linked to favorite pieces of makeup, anything that would tempt you to buy stuff, just stay away from that. Occupy your time and energy doing other things. Ideally, things that don't have anything to do with makeup at all. However, if you do want to occupy your time with things that have to do with makeup, because yeah, like beauty is a hobby for the vast majority of people, look inward, look to your own collection, and just play with it, spend some time with it, clean it out, reorganize, love, appreciate, and cherish all the stuff that you already have, and remind yourself that you have enough. You have more than enough. And if you feel like you don't have enough, maybe, and like here I'm gonna pivot from talking about y'all and projecting my own issues to y'all and speak only about myself, but whenever I feel like I don't own enough makeup, it's not really about the makeup, it's about me. It's because I feel like in some way I am lacking. Maybe it's because I've like had a bad day and I don't feel productive enough. Maybe it's because I feel lonely and so I don't feel like loved or cherished enough. Maybe it's because I just don't feel like I'm worth enough, or a myriad other ways in which like I almost, I hate saying the word spiritually, but spiritually like have some sort of like gap or emptiness or hole. And then I try and like fill up that like spiritual, I really hate that word, that like spiritual gap by buying a bunch of stuff. Feeling like I don't own enough makeup, feeling like my makeup collection is not enough, feeling like I do not have enough, with me is very strongly linked to feeling like I am not enough. And if that is a thing that is true for you as well, I'm here to stop and tell you that you are enough. Buying whatever bright, shiny thing has caught your eye this week and will likely be forgotten by next week, it's not gonna make you feel better. Not in the long run. In fact, if you're a person who is subscribed to my channel and is keenly aware of the problematic relationship that you might have with shopping, and therefore you're a person who's trying to like curb your shopping habit, you know in the long run that breaking the promises you have made to yourself about what it is you allow yourself to buy, about how much money and time you want to allocate to makeup, breaking your promises to yourself, you know is going to make you feel bad in the long run, even though buying that piece of makeup can be like stress relieving or emotionally satisfying in that given moment. I don't know about y'all, but like for me, when I say I'm going to do something, like I'm not going to buy makeup during the VIB sale, and then I end up breaking my promise, I sort of end up in this like really garbagey guilt and shame spiral. And that's so corrosive, because then the conversations I start having with myself are like, wow, Prachi, you're like really not worth anything. Like you're a garbage human being. Like you can't even keep a simple promise to yourself to not buy anything. Like what a worthless piece of trash. And then, and here's the irony, in beating myself up over having broken a promise to myself around how much money or time or whatever I wanted to spend around makeup, I would then feel so inadequate and bad that I would feel the urge to buy more makeup to make myself feel better. It would turn into this like vicious feedback loop. And I'm not engaging in that anymore. I'm not running out of anything. There's nothing for me to replace. And so I'm not going to buy anything in the VIB Sephora sale 2019. To me and my sense of self and my self-worth and self-esteem, it is so much more important and valuable to be able to keep the promises that I have made to myself than it is to own whatever bright, shiny thing that I feel like I really, really want. My hope is that the same holds true for you. The promises that you make to yourself matter. And forget the way that you have behaved in the past. Forget how many ever times you may have made a promise to yourself and like broken that promise. Today is today. The promises that you make to yourself today are the ones that are important to keep moving forward. Now, it's not like I necessarily know any of you personally, but at the very least, the vast majority, like except for like the one or two troll comments that I've gotten, every single comment that anybody has left on my channel has indicated to me that like you guys are very, very smart and very, very strong and very, very introspective. Like there is nothing that distinguishes me really from any of you except for the fact that I'm like an idiot with a camera. And if I have the strength and capacity to do it, I have every possible belief in your own strength and capacity to do it. Don't sell yourself short. If you decide that you don't want to get anything during the VIB sale, even if you're not otherwise on a no buy or a low buy, hold fast to your word and just think of the immense satisfaction you will feel when the sale is over at knowing that you made a promise to yourself and you kept it. That joy will be so much more deeper and more satisfying than anything that you buy. Oh, the one last final piece of advice I would give to myself is, I have my own very personal reasons, right, for wanting to go on a no-buy. I made an entire video about it and I published it on YouTube. And in that video itself, I said to myself that that video existed primarily just for me in order to be able to see myself and hear in my own voice why it was important for me to not want to go shopping. I would highly recommend that if you're a person who's trying to like curb your shopping habits or whatever, that you do that for yourself. Much like I am doing right now with my phone camera, just whip out your phone, turn on the front camera, and film a very short video for yourself, for your eyes only. Nobody else ever has to see this, where you talk about why it's important for you to go on a no-buy year. And then just save that video on your phone. When you're really struggling, when you feel like you really want to buy something, when you feel like you want to like give into temptation, open up that video and watch yourself. Watch yourself discuss why this matters to you and let you talk yourself out of impulsive, foolish behavior around buying. Nobody knows you better than you. And if that means that you need to film like a little pep talk to yourself and just save it on your phone, a reminder for why you're doing this, a reminder for why this behavior, choosing not to shop at this particular time, matters to you, that's going to be able to talk you out of stuff much more successfully than me or Hannah Louise Poston or the entire makeup rehab subreddit. You know you. And that's very powerful. Anyway, that has been my PSA. Hope that was helpful. This is a really unusual style of video. You will probably never see this sort of ad hoc thing again. I really hope whatever I said was coherent because I was literally just like coming up with it on the fly. I'm gonna head over to Chinatown now, do some grocery shopping, eat some soup dumplings for $2.99. God, I love living in Toronto. And that's that on that from me. Look for my October favorites video sometime this Monday, and my October check-in will be published sometime after or on October 5th, because October 5th is like the anniversary. Anniversary is technically a year, but like month-iversary, I guess, of my no-buy year. Started on February 5th, so I like to upload the check-ins on either the 5th or a little bit afterwards. That's everything from me, folks. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I hope you have a great upcoming week. And even if your upcoming week ends up becoming messy or imperfect, I hope that you're still able to create and experience some truly beautiful moments. Thanks for watching. Bye.